Hey, this is Lisa Lee and welcome to my channel. So today, instead of a pick a card reading, we are going to be working with this really powerful, potent 2222 energy. And so I'm going to just freeform, let spirit bring whatever wants to come through. And this is going to be a lot of fun. So I'm going to go ahead and speed up the shuffle. Okay, so let's take a look at this. There's a lot here, and I'm going to really scrutinize the cards. So with the 8 of Wands and the 8 of Cups, this is pretty impressive to me. So let me just take a look here. Of course, there's a lot coming in really quickly. I mean, that's sort of the obvious answer, but it seems to be coming in. There's like a crowd here. And you're being elevated. This is pretty cool. And there's something that is like brewing in you in the way of like a creative, what is this? Let's feel it. You're about to have like a creative upgrade in a really, really big way. And that's what, yeah, this creative upgrade is kind of like influencing this crowd over here. There's a way in which like this is the light that they're seeing. And again, this is showing me like an elevation. So this is happening pretty quickly. With the 8 of Cups, this is about, I always say it's like walking away from an emotional investment and walking towards yourself. And this was so much of what has been happening. And these two things are related. Let me just take a look at this card here. So this is really interesting because he's walking into the water. And so this is almost telling me that like whatever had been holding you back in the way of like convention or people's opinions or like, you know, what will they think, is really going to melt away under the power of whatever this inspiration is. And it's really going to melt away, like, you know, related to this. This is like a really big group of feeling. Like this is feeling like quite a crowd. I don't want to say like a crowd is coming in, but there's something to the effect of like, this is a major upgrade for you. And this upgrade is elevating and it quickly sort of brings in your people or like people that are going to like learn or appreciate whatever this gift is. This gift is not just for you. This is manifested for you to offer others, and that's going to offer you something as well. And this is like, I see him like walking right out into the water. So this is basically, I don't want to say that like spirit is like, okay, what we're really manifesting here is your ability to walk on water, but I think a little bit, right? I think that walking away from an emotional investment and kind of like a worldview that wasn't serving you, a way of being in the world that was no good, and walking towards what you know is a more miraculous route. Spirit is saying like you're supported in that in a big way, and this is all going to happen pretty quickly. Like this is a quick turnaround from walking away from like the old guard and walking into your knowledge of yourself as actually being a miracle, and being a miracle worker. And so what is this? This is like a miracle of creativity, and it has a very far reach. And so that's super powerful right there. With the Hermit and the King of Swords, let's take a look at this. This period of time that you have spent, like, and I always say that with the Hermit, like, finding your way in to finding your way out. Like, find your way in so that you can find your way out. And this has given you this process of like, you have, it's almost like you've been I don't want to say you've been a monk or a nun, but you have spent enough time, I'm getting the frame over here. You've spent enough time in your head like that there are these diamonds that have been created of your thoughts, and you haven't really gone out into the wilderness to discover that you have a crown of diamonds yet, because it naturally grew. And like, you know, with a baby, if you see the baby every day, you don't see them growing every day. But if you're gone for, you know, 5 years and you come back, you're like, whoa, that was fast, or 2 years or a year even. And this is sort of like a spiritual growth spurt for you in the way that like you've been growing every single day, but you haven't really left the wilderness. And in that exit out of, you know, the space that is purely like spiritually driven and like the wilderness of you, where all of these like thoughts, these priceless thoughts have been formed, and they crown you. It's a really cool thing. As you leave this phase, this space, one of the most important things is that you like, I'm hearing the messenger, right? And I'm also seeing here with the 3 birds, you're being very much led out of this space. This was a really valuable space. It was really like emotionally needed, but you're meant to shine. That's what I'm seeing here with the crown. And you're moving towards, really, you're delivering some kind of message here. I'm seeing this pretty clearly. And there's leadership. I don't even want to call it leadership. You are being led. I want to say you're being led by the Spirit. You're being led by the Spirit. And you're being led by the Spirit with like a voice and words and a message in your belly. And this is going to be, this is what I think this is about. I think this is about this message. You have a tremendous talent. And it's hard for me to sort of grasp it because it seems like you're talented in almost everything, right? But there is a tremendous talent here that is like coming to the fore. And the King of Swords tells me that you are going to be able to take this talent and like you're going to be able to do all the administrative stuff around it. And you're going to be able to make it, you're going to push forward something really, really brilliant. Born of a brilliant mind, born of all the soul time that you've spent. And with the Knight of, the King of Swords over here, I might have called this the Knight. I kind of like saw this as the Knight. Like a fast acting king of like your thoughts. This is, I always say like head over heart for them. This is just a beautiful free card though. And so, yeah, a king that's led by the Spirit with a really important message that has been refined in like the halls of, you've done all the self-development that has been really impressive. And you've manifested this crown. You've manifested this position. And you don't know it yet because you got to walk out of that wilderness like that you've been in. And you're doing it real quickly. And you're doing it with like a sharp intelligence and like with decisive, able to do these things in like a really beautiful way. It's like in the past, it may have been hard to finish things. In the past, it may have been like life kind of like everything too difficult, whatever, spastic, but this is not the King of Swords. You know, the King of Swords sees a goal and is like, I'm doing this, and there's nothing that gets in the King of Swords' way. With the comic though, here's this beautiful thing that Spirit is bringing in and saying, yeah, this isn't so like serious. This is an upgrade that you're going to have that's actually going to bring, Spirit saying you need fun in your life anyway. And this is bringing a level of fun into your life. And actually this, so this is like, this isn't a heavy thing. This is this beautiful like crowning and this incredible message and like everything kind of coming like through really quickly related to this inspiration that has you basically feeling like, yeah, my life is miraculous and I am a miracle and what I'm doing is miraculous and this is where I'm going, and Spirit is saying yes, and I've got you. Now, and again, the comic says, you know, this doesn't have to be learning by contrast. This doesn't have to be so hard. This doesn't have to be a situation where, you know, you learn the lesson with like grit and like, you know, strain. There's none of that. This is going to be lighthearted and fun because, you know, the goddess wants to bless you, and that blessing doesn't include some horrendous like list of sacrifices you made or have to make in order to earn this blessing and this love in this place. This is your place. You don't have to earn it. It's just yours. And so there is a lighthearted quality to being able to be open and receive this. But I'm also seeing that this is also looking like a mask to me. And what Spirit is showing me is like, this is, you're seeing yourself in a new way. It was like there was something obscuring your vision of yourself, something that made you think that like you look, there was like I want to say like body dysmorphia, but what I mean by that is, and not to make light of that, but what I'm saying is that is like, I'm seeing that of like the soul and for some of you that may be what it is, but I'm seeing that for you in terms of like, not being able to see yourself clearly because you're seeing yourself like looking at something that wasn't in resonance with you. And now you're really coming into this place of like being in resonance, like with the grounded you, and like really being in resonance with like an identity, being in resonance with, like I'm just seeing these eyes underneath this mask. And I see these eyes as seeing themselves maybe for the first time in the way that they're meant to be seen, and in alignment with who they are, right? So this is whoever this is for, like it's in alignment with who you are. It's the way that you want to be seen because you're finally seeing yourself clearly. And so by seeing yourself clearly, you're like, not only do I see myself clearly, but now I know how to present how I want to be seen because I figured it out. You know, I've seen it. With the Magician and the Wheel of Fortune here, this is magnificent. Wait, I want to go back to this for a second because I stumbled on something as I was prattling on, and it was kind of in the middle because I see someone looking in the mirror and I see all of these influences around them, and I hear like this cacophony of like judgments, and this person is wearing all those judgments like a dress, and they're judging themselves based on this lens. And they're seeing themselves based on what's being told to them about who they are, and that just falls away. It just kind of falls away. It like shatters. But it does in like a lighthearted way. It's almost like the goddess is saying like the motivation is that you're like a good feeling. It's not a motivation of anything like externally pressuring you or internally like. There's no torment in this. I'm seeing that clearly. With the Magician and the Wheel of Fortune here. You are manifesting major change. You've been manifesting major change, and you've been doing it well. You've been doing it, and like there may be this part of you that says, well, I don't, I'm just yesterday I was thinking that I don't know how I'm going to do this and that and the other thing. Spirit is saying that this is happening really quickly. With the Eight of Wands over here, and with the Magician, you have all of the tools you need to create this new reality for yourself. And not just that, you've used them so well. You're actually like stepping into a lot of magic. I'm seeing that with the Eight of Cups, like walking out on water. Like, is that grandiosity? I don't think so, because what I'm seeing here is that you are getting this major upgrade and this inspiration, and you've done the work. And like, again, this is reward time, and it sort of spits in the face of this notion that there's no such thing as a reward. There's like a philosophical hat that we wear, where, like thinking like the, rewards aren't, there's no cause and effect related to good behavior and rewards. And actually I'm seeing a little bit of a shift here, because maybe that was the edict that was passed down, but you have earned this. Is what I'm saying. You really, really earned this. And so you've earned it, and you have manifested something that is bringing in major change. And I don't mean like scary, like tumultuous, like crazy change. I mean like you have dreamed something into being. And part of that is a major heart healing for you. Let me feel this. Something's being born of your heart in a very profound way, and it's being born to the tune of like the color is bleeding through where life was kind of black and white. There's a sun. This is striking me as dawn, but this is a weird thing. What a cool, interesting thing that's coming through. It's almost like dawn on another planet, dawn where the sun comes up pink, and so there's like such a newness to like, this is a new way of seeing like rose-colored glasses, but it's okay. It's not like, toxic positivity. It's not rose-colored glasses to sort of block out, shadow. It's just that this seems like you're like waking up on a planet where the sun is coming up, but it's not the way you expect it to come up. It's not the sun that you, this is so strange, but it's really not. It's bringing your life into like a range of colors that's new. Like there's a lot of newness in all of this. But with the Princess of Cups and the Four of Cups, let's take a look at this for a second. This is a very good news spread, and I'm not seeing anything that I don't love. But with the Four of Cups and the Princess of Cups, I'm seeing this hand come down and be like, hey, excuse me. It's time to pick your head up. Like there's this weird urgency related to this energy. Like this is almost like mom, excuse you. Like that's really what I'm seeing. And this is like a helpful thing. This is like a beautiful friendship that's happening over here, where this is a person who like, these are very two different, hold on, let me look at this. These are two different creatures. These are two different creatures, like from two different worlds. And they both have something really powerful to offer one another. And even though there's this huge difference, with the Four of Cups here, like there's something to be gained from this energy the Spirit is bringing in. or that's already there, that is gonna like kind of wake you up, like, hey, you know, there's something calling you into giving and receiving. And again, it's a major change, and this does something to your heart. This is healing your heart. I'll get more cards because I want to know more, but actually let's just do that right now, because sometimes I say I'll get more cards and then I never come back to it, and I really want to see more about this. Let's take a look. It's almost like spells are breaking. Like the spells of, like, you know, maybe it's like family patterns, maybe it's like societal patterns that keep us sort of under kind of a spell of like, I need more, I need to be more. And and it's breaking, and it's like, wait, no, look at you're in a new, I don't want to say you're in a new dimension, but it's almost like something is shifted to a degree where there's a lot of magic and a lot of miracles that are being brought in to the tune of like, this is a new world. I mean, this is a whole new environment, and not even environment. You just wake up and you're like, what is this dimension where everybody's, it's like something slightly different. I can't really put my finger on it all the way, which is why let's get a couple more cards to see what these do. Okay, so bottom of the deck, Page of Rods. Yeah, Four of Cups again. The High Priestess. Let me look at this. Seven of Swords. This is so interesting. This is a hidden blessing. It's a blessing in disguise. All right, so there's a blessing in disguise. There's something about this that is leading to this major upgrade. But, you know, it's interesting. It's like that Page of Rods, that Page of Wands. You're not really seeing this, like you have a hunch, you have a knowing, you like know something's coming, you know something's about to happen, and it is, and it's you know, someone with their with something like very puny in the way of opposition comes in to do something that like they believe that you're like, you're not, your head is in the sand, you're not seeing it, you're not paying attention, they're getting away with so much. Little do they know, I mean, this is just an energy that's coming through. Little do they know that this is part of the divine plan, and that they're offering you a perspective here that will allow you to be open to receive something Spirit wants to bring in that is really different from you, but incredibly magical, like incredibly magical. That's what I'm feeling, magic from over there. Now with the Page of Wands again showing up over here, and the King of Wands, you know, this really speaks to like this is a wake up. And this is really funny because I'm seeing like the Page of Wands kind of shows up, and this could be a situation, and it doesn't actually have to be a person, but it's, you know, something where you really weren't seeing clearly. There was a spell, and the spell is broken, and that spell broke to the tune of like bringing you into a new world within yourself. And with the Page of Wands here and the King of Wands, I almost feel like, you know, you pick your head up into whatever this is, and you see this page, and you're like, oh, hi, Page of Wands, I'm a King of Wands, nice to meet you. You know, there's no contest. You've really absorbed, you know, this person lives in dualistic, or a person, I'm seeing it as a person, that's how it's coming through. This person is coming through having like a very dualistic like point of view. And so what they're thinking of in terms of strategy, you've like absorbed like darkness and light, you know what I mean? And you've transmuted it into like this. Look at this. This is what you are right now. Like your soul's like shining like in this incredible way. There's like this holiness about you, and there's a way in which you contain everything, and it's like harmonized. And so like you're like flying high on this like incredible spiritual upgrade that sort of encompasses everything, and that, you know, like you've walked through so much that there's not a lot that you know, can shake you. And so this person with like a very immature sort of point of view, they're not getting anywhere with this, because you really do have something supporting you. And it could, and I'm seeing this, this dolphin, like this could be a really powerful spirit guide that is like joining you, because it's from another world. And you might feel this shift so tangibly that it does give you a sense of like miraculous and powerful and outside of the ordinary, but in the most mystical, beautiful way, because that's and so like whatever this like person trying to drag you into like strategic lack mentality, and it could be even like a situation like, you know, like it's the old way, and this person's like doesn't even know that it's the old way and thinks that they're getting something out of a process, like losing and winning, you know. And meanwhile you're like, I am the King of Wands, I am the warrior king, I am going to answer your asparagus with my torch, basically. And the asparagus is no match for the torch. With Justice and the Seven of Pentacles, though, there's really something to be said here relating to, I'm going to get more cards actually on that, because this is interesting. You're coming from a really powerful place, but I want to see, there's like a couple little things I want to look at that are not like stellar, amazing, but also like I think it's still something really good here related to this. Let me take a look and grab that deck that I had in my hand like a second ago, and that's where it is. All right, so let's shuffle this deck and just see what the Seven of Pentacles is about. You know, this deck sort of names the cards, which I never like that when that happens, but you know, seven is Seven of Coins can be like, oh, you know, I failed, right? But that's not what I'm seeing in front of me. I'm seeing something completely different with what she's creating around her. And I just want to know more about what she's creating around her, because that's what's speaking to me far more than whatever the word is meant to convey in terms of the traditional meaning. Like, let's see. But we also have kind of one. Yeah, this is interesting. Let's get a little bit more on this. What is this Justice and the Seven of Pentacles? Strength. Okay, what else? Show me more. There was an injustice here, and it held you down for a really long time. Okay, let's take a look at what that is. Because whatever it is, you know, I see the Justice card, and I every time I see the injustice, every time I see the injustice card, now every time I see the Justice card, I always think, well, for justice to be there, there must have been an injustice. And so the injustice that was trying to prevail, I mean, this does seem like a positive spin, but, you know, with Strength and the Six of Swords and the Queen of Swords, like, I am seeing this as a failure of the injustice to continue to have its hold on you, with the World on the bottom of the deck right here. And, you know, to the extent that we've got oppression, you know, with the Ten of Wands. And again, I look at this, I don't like when they name it for me. What is she creating? Real quick, let's get a little clarifier on that. What is she creating? Queen of Wands. Yeah, so she's this is not about failure. This is a failure of injustice to disturb this person's peace and what they're creating, and they are moving into this Queen of Wands position, and it's calmer waters than where it was. And it's, she's doing so without, you know, with the Queen of Wands, and you got the King of, Queen of Swords and King of Swords. There's a real power in your mind right now, and there's a real power in what you have to communicate with the world, for sure. And it's going to be really clear for you, and I want to say almost effortless. Like, it's not going to be a lot of upheaval. Now, we also have the Queen of Cups. So, like, look, all of these queens. Queen of Wands, Queen of Swords, Queen of Cups. So you are coming around the mountain, you know, in terms of having all of these qualities of all of these queens be like integrating for you. I want to see what this oppression on the bottom of the deck is all about over here. Yeah, it's about like, this is a breaking point, you know, before you end up with this, you know, because that's the World card underneath. It's a breaking point before you win. It's a breaking point before you win. That's what it is. What is this? Yeah, there's conflict, but it's conflict that you got 5 of Swords and you got 6 of Rods. So that's Wands. So basically what this is telling me is that Spirit is saying, you're going to be victorious. Whatever this injustice is, whatever this like weird little nonsense with the Page of Wands, you're meeting this as a King of Wands. You've got so much power coming in. Like, what's part of what you're manifesting with this energy, you know, and through this portal is like a tremendous amount of power. And so whatever this conflict is, Spirit's saying, you're going to win. That's all. You know, you may not see it right now. It might not be completely obvious, but you're going to win. And so that's sort of like something to hold on to in the way of, I guess, faith with this. This is kind of like, I don't know, I keep seeing this as walking on water. Now, let's take a look at, this Queen of Cups energy and the Temperance. Oh my gosh, what an upgrade for you. And the Star. Are we seeing this? There's such a major upgrade for you. You're graduating, and you're graduating in this beautiful way. Let me find out more. I gotta know a little bit in the way of details. So I want to grab some oracle cards and just see what Spirit wants to bring in the way of details related to like what are we seeing here with these sectors. So I'm going to break this up into this sector, this sector, and this sector. You know, this is the injustice. This is dealing with a person. This is where you have more than enough, and that it's a failure of injustice to be unjust with you, where you've got like such spiritual everything that there's no opposition. You know, whatever you're dealing with is holding an asparagus and you're holding a torch. So I want to see what each of these things is in sectors. Let's just take a look. Because this is what you're transforming right now. This is what's changing for you. Like magic is entering your life in a huge way. And then, so let's take each thing at a time. So what is this with this? So this is I'm seeing is like you pass through the initiation. This is what's coming of it in the way of like fruit from labor. Right? Yeah, Spirit is saying fruit from your labor. And this is just like this puny little like last bit of something that Spirit is taking care of. Like, well, it's making you victorious. This is your victory over here. So let's take a look. This is really cool. This is such a good news reading, and it should be. Look at you thriving. Let's take another 2 cards. And gaining so much wisdom. The water. Water. There's like a lot of water in this. A lot of blue. Flow, stillness, and focus. Okay, so like, you know, we're only really seeing, there's so much opportunity in everything that's happening. You're calling in like tremendous opportunity with this portal, and it's meeting you. It's like meeting you right where you are. It's not even, it's not striving, it is thriving. This is the sun came up. And this is striking me as a growth spurt right here. And so you've had this major growth spurt, and it's making like this is like a new body. Yeah, like I am seeing miracles. I just am. Like I'm seeing this ability to plunge the depths with this like beautiful transcendent self. And this is like friends like that are so special. They're other earthly in a way. And this could be like another earthly kind of an energy, or like well, it's something deep, it's something spiritual, it's something magical, and I'm seeing it twice, and it's powerful. And so that's really like how the wheel is turning for you. We're going to come back over here because this is all beautiful, wonderful. I want to actually, before we go all the way over there, let's just be super thorough and hit this spot real fast because, you know, something coming, you're getting recognition really quickly based on an inspiration that you're getting as a result of this portal. And that's where I'm seeing like this magic, and you see like, I don't know, it's like you finally are able to like see yourself clearly, and then you're like, oh, this is how I present myself because I have a sense of myself and I was being misled before. That's it. And so let's go ahead and shuffle this deck. I need a sip of water. Let's take a look at, wow, these cards are all, yeah, let's shuffle this up. I want to see what this recognition that's coming in super fast is about. I want to see it. I want more in the way of like, what exactly is that? Ruffle, shuffle. Okay. What is this Eight of Wands and the Eight of Cups? Oh, you walked away from something that was like leading you nowhere, actually. Well, it's the end of a cycle and the beginning of a new one. It's a major change here. And so what that has to do with, it's a whole new world. So I keep feeling like this is a whole new world. This is a whole new world. That's kind of what I'm feeling like. But let me just take a look in terms of, let me get more on this new cycle. Let me get more on the recognition related and the inspiration. Let's get more on all of it because I want to see exactly what that is. This is amazing. Ace of Swords and the King of Swords. This is a brilliant idea. That's like born of this cycle closing out. It's a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant idea. And it's a brilliant idea that you can take the distance. And we've got the King of Swords over here as well. Well, let me just get one more card because I'm dying to know. You have like this ability to, you finally have the ability to carry the weight of whatever this brilliant idea is. And again, like with the comic card, Spirit is saying like, this is fun. It's like it's a fun insight. But yeah, I saw this before on the bottom of the deck and I was like, what are we looking at with these? The Ten of Wands. Why are we seeing the Ten of Wands so much related to this conflict? Is this, yeah. So there's a conflict here that's been a huge burden to you that Spirit is releasing you from. What is this? Oh, that's too many. That's not. Death and the Ace of Cups. Oh, I can't even begin to tell you like what this is speaking to me, especially with Temperance on the bottom of the deck. There's such a transformation in like getting a hold of this insight based on this like new cycle coming in and being able to like basically with the King of Swords, and this looks like the happy King of Swords, you know, and to bring this to the finish line in a way that is a lot of fun. So there's a beautiful idea coming in, a really good inspiration. It's an insight more than anything else. And with the Ace of Cups, like this is the gift of love from above related to this transformation because Spirit is saying like, I've seen these burdens that you've been carrying for so long and we're done with that. You're about to like be able to walk on water in a way. And what do I mean by walk on water? Well, you've got the Queen of Cups, you've got Temperance, you've got balance, you've got emotional stability, you have, this is your like rise, this is your rise. There's a resurrection happening with the Death card, there's a resurrection happening for you. And with Temperance, it's like angelically guided in every way. And it's an answer to the burdens that you carried for so long. That's like coming full circle back to like that philosophical idea that like rewards aren't to be like, you know, that it doesn't work like that. Cause and effect does not necessarily mean that like by doing a good thing, you're going to get a reward. Technically, no, but like Spirit's like, no, I've seen what you've been carrying for a really long time. Like I've very much observed you and it's time for a reward. It's time for a reward related to this. Like a couple more cards on that because I'm just going to let this reading go a little bit longer than it's supposed to. Well, I'm going to let it go as long as it's supposed to. The Hermit. You did your time. That's kind of like what I'm feeling with a tremendous burden and like this conflict that you are facing is nothing compared to the help that Spirit is bringing in. And with this King of Swords again. Like I'm seeing you as being like impervious. Wait. No way. This is the King of Rods. That felt so swordsy to me. I guess because there's no opposition. Like there's nothing that you have to really like galvanize your emotional body and your passionate warrior self. There's no opposition to this conflict. It feels so smooth to me. Yeah, the King of Swords here. There's help. You're going to have help with this. Whatever this is, like Spirit's like, you're not going to have to lift this on your own. You're going to have help with it. And it's not going to cost, emotionally, you're going to be unscathed. There's not going to be an effect. You know, you stay very much in your power. We've got the King of Wands twice. Yeah. In answer to whatever this burden was, this burden is in the form of this Page of Wands who's coming up like with an asparagus. And Spirit is saying, like, again, you're a king. You answer this by, this is like so puny compared to like who you have become and like where you are with yourself. And so like as you move into this, putting these burdens down, like this reward as a result of all that you've held, making the injustice irrelevant, not allowing for, like letting the injustice fail, like because you have been creating from this space of isolation, and it's given you a level of enlightenment that's elevating you in a big way. And with flow, stillness, and focus, this focus is like, this is this King of Swords kind of energy that I'm picking up so heavy throughout this entire reading. But look how beautiful this really feels like, you know, no matter what you like come up against in the way of a battlefield, you know, whatever, you know, in the past, things have been able to really shake you deeply and easily. And not because you're hypersensitive or anything like that, but because of your depth and because of your sensitivity to, a lot of it is just trauma reactions, you know, like there was a lot in the way of keeping you in, like that Hermit phase was a lot of having to fight through the blocks like within your own self related to things that were unhealed and that had, it was like easy to upset you in a certain way. And well, here's the thing that Spirit's saying, like, you know, as you had the spiritual awakening, like the ice began to melt around your heart, that, you know, this is fast, this channel. Formally, there might have been something in the way of, how do I put that, Spirit? When you're numb, you can't feel joy either. You can't feel bad, but you're also not feeling joy. And, you know, the ice has melted around that. And that was a lot of what the Hermit phase really was. That, like, that portion of your life, you know, where you really pushed all the way in to find your way all the way out. But Spirit is saying, like, you know, the major breakthrough related to, you know, this is it. Sorry, you're going to have to forgive me for being all over the place with this. The channel is like fast and like intense. So I'm losing track of like a lot of what's trying to come through. But what I am seeing for sure is that this is a breaking point. But this is a breaking point that releases you. And this is a breaking point that releases you to peace, to having faith in the universe, because this is the universe's opportunity to show up for you, and it's going to. You've done the work. You really have. And the gift here is a gift of focus, a gift of being able to get everything that you want to do done, because you aren't having to be, like, I'm seeing like a tree that was formally not rooted, and like every time the wind, like, you know, like a baby tree, I'm seeing like a baby tree, and like, you know how the baby tree has these two little things that keep it, you know, anchored so that when the wind blows, it doesn't end up toppling over. Spirit is showing me like there's been so much period of time that, like, you know, this baby tree, Spirit, and this breaking point like yields such a, like an awareness of how rooted you are, so that the winds and the storms, like, they no longer bother you. It's a gift of not being affected by Page of Wands people or things, you know, wielding an asparagus, because you actually know that you're this King of Wands. You know that you're this King of Swords. You know that you are the culmination of the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Swords, and the Queen of Wands. And this self-knowledge, you know, moves you forward in such a way that, like, you are now able to, like, pursue creativity and inspiration with a level of peace that allows you to like focus and make this into a reality. And that's kind of, I mean, I keep on calling it walking on water, but what you have to create is a miraculous kind of magical thing, and it's going to make your life feel kind of miraculous and magical. And so that's a lot of good news. And I think that's where I'm going to leave this. So let's just get a little bit of advice from Spirit, like another couple of real quick. I'm just going to get some sentences here, very direct sentences from Spirit before we close out the reading. This is looking really good. Oh, yeah. Speaking of sentences, I love when Spirit is like showing me. Let's read the back of this. So this is a card that came out with everything else. Sisters of the Sun Rising. Yeah, this is like the sun's coming up. The sun is finally coming up, and I'm seeing it come up really fast. Like, it's like you notice that the sun is kind of like coming up, and then you like turn your head and you look again, and the sun has like bounced up. It's like a really quick turnaround. So you are a highly creative being with the ability to help raise the vibration of consciousness on this planet through your creative projects and dreams. Remain open to other souls joining forces with you, just like the Sisters of the Rising Sun, who bring great energy to help humanity through their group endeavors. When you allow for aligned group effort, wonderful things can happen. You're going to have help with whatever this is. And your creativity is so important to the universe that they are going to clear the path and make the way. Like, this is what's happening. This is what's being manifested. A beautiful clarity of vision about who you are in the world, and a clarity of vision and an ability to produce of that authenticity. I love this reading so much. Life is speeding up. 8 of Wands. This is going to happen so quickly for you. You're not even going to have to, like, it's not like you're going to be waiting. This is going to happen real quick. That's what I saw. The sun, like, popped up super quick. This is happening quickly for you. This and that are true. Let's see what that's about. What does that mean? Ah, yes. So Spirit is saying, like, there's a real balance coming in for you. And with this is this cool thing. This dolphin, every time I look at this dolphin, I see like some kind of a magical, mystical person or friend or energy that shows you, it like helps you learn how to receive in a way that you've never received before. It gives you like emotional fulfillment, like the water. And so Spirit is basically saying that, like, be playful. You can be lighthearted. That's what I saw over here with the King of Swords. You can be lighthearted with the comic here too, about what's going on, because the truth of the situation of like what you've had to hold in terms of like this 10 of Wands for all this time, and Spirit's like acknowledging this and bringing in these opportunities, and dealing with whatever that is. You're going to have justice. There's a real change around the way that you view life, and it's magical and it's playful and it's beautiful. It's going to happen real quick, and you've done the work. And so life is really going to be, this is beautiful. Be loyal to what you love and claim your independence. This and that is true. Be loyal to what you love and claim your independence. This and that is true. That's what this is feeling like to me. You're going to have support. This actually, I'm like, this is the 3 of Coins. It's just like kind of how it's coming out. So that's today's reading. That's the 2222 portal. So I'm sending really good energies, and my intention is that you've been blessed. I hope you've been blessed, and I'll see you again soon.